So Jay Gad is now still trapped inside the body of a black. Get out of me! Ew! Wait, that's not a sentence that should be in this show. Hey guys, it's your girl Aisha, aka GeekXX Chic, and we're here with another reaction to Wonder Man. We're on season 1, episode 4, which is called Doorman. So last episode, we got some more history into Simon. He had to go to his mother's birthday party, and that trip basically gave us a little insight into the way that Simon acts and kind of the way his mindset is. We found out he's a loner. He's always kind of kept to himself, and that he really is just kind of isolated, which it seems is somewhat self-inflicted, but it's something that clearly is an issue for him. And so anyways, with that visit home, we see that Trevor ends up feeling quite guilty about this whole mission. Of course, he never asked for it in the first place, but you know, his conscience really kicked in when he realizes just how lonely Simon is and just how much him finding out that Trevor is doing all this because of an assignment will probably shatter him. So we see that he decided to destroy the wire recording that he had. And then I guess we're just gonna have to figure out what comes next, because they've both gotten callbacks for this new Wonder Man series or movie. So yeah, it looks like Trevor is gonna have to figure out what he's gonna do, because we all know that he's not really working out of his own agency right now. So is he gonna come clean? Is he gonna try to figure out a way to work both sides? We're just gonna have to find out. So let's jump in. Just before I do though, that reminder to please hit that subscribe button as well as the notification bell. And also a reminder that you can catch unedited reactions to this on my Patreon. All right, that out of the way, let's get into the episode right now. The black and white, though. The old school, though. Is that you?
Oh, damn.
Mr. Dorman?
See right there, it says you're from Texas. And I heard they dance weird out there.
Oh, not the
Yeah,
judge.
we don't do none of this in L.A.
What? He said take that country shit out.
All right? Get your ass in there, girl. Don't
He got jokes, though.
Who's in the house?
Josh Gad?
Oh,
What you doing, bro?
Gad, how you doing, sir?
Mr. Gad, come on, man.
Are we letting Olaf in the club now?
Seems like it was live in here. The line outside was slammed.
People went apeshit when Olaf started crowd surfing.
Didn't I say Olaf?
The first time I tipped you out was over 3 years ago.
You kidding? I've been here that long?
Hmm.
It's Hollywood. Everyone's an actor or a model, and, you know, working here is just a stepping stone.
That ain't me.
That makes sense.
Tips are good. Just to talk to people. Be myself.
That's sweet.
You don't meet a lot of people in this town who are happy with where
That's
they're at.
very sad.
Shit.
What? There a body in there? Interesting framing. Rocks on. Oh no. We about to have some cloak and dagger in this bee. Is that like a quicksand into another dimension? Why the hell would you touch that? In this world of mutants, are you crazy? Portals. Plural. Huh? You at home? And if you are we in the right year? Huh?
What's up, Chad?
Huh? So Doorman is because of all those portals, right?
I put my hand in some goo, and all of a sudden, my dog fell through the floor. I promise I'm not breaking in.
Oh, you are a portal. It's very Cloak and Dagger. Kind of like the cloak, right? Pocket dimensions kind of built in. I mean, it was in the cloak in this case, but you get my point. Is it there again? That's what you get for touching it, though. Why are you touching weird shit? You know better than that, my brother.
In my hand. My snoop against the
Respectfully, I don't think rap is in your future, Josh Gad. Many talents you have, but I don't think this is. Oh, not you milking the Olaf. Okay, you can do this because this is Disney. Of course, on the night that we're packed, we have a fire hazard. Why does this door always get stuck? By the way, I knew the sticking door was gonna come back, but
Get that door open.
are you gonna become the door for everybody? That would be so horrifying to hear. When did we learn to do this?
Quick! quick. Go through me.
What do you
Excuse me?
mean?
They're like,
I don't. Julia, what is
this
he
is
saying?
weird.
I think he said he wants us
This some
inside
LA
him.
shit.
He wants us to go through him.
Thank you, Josh Gad, for being the translator, the mansplainer. Just do it.
How do I do this?
Just walk.
Now.
Okay. All right.
I mean, kudos to Josh Gad. He's like, I'm not trying to die. I'm going to ask questions later.
It works.
Get out of me, you! Wait, that's not a sentence that should be in this show.
Hurry, this shit ain't easy.
Oh, is it hurting you or no? Probably gonna get 0 credit for it.
I didn't mean to scare you. I just wanted to come out here and say thank you.
Thank you for thanking him.
You just saved everybody's life in that building.
Mm-hmm.
I gotta pay you back.
How?
I don't need anything. Good.
How about a new job?
What?
So quick.
Come work for me. I'll put you on the payroll.
To do what?
Mr. J-Gad, I appreciate it, but I'm fine here. Got a good boss.
Starting salary is $200K plus benefits.
When do I sign?
Yeah, that'll work.
Right? Like, in this economy?
Meanwhile, this Mormon has just booked a new project, an action
Why
comedy.
Why
called-
would we have to say this Mormon?
Tomorrow, right?
Yeah.
The doorman.
Live and direct. Ding dong.
I like that he's got corny jokes.
You ever think about acting?
Nah. Besides, who can get J-Gad his snack plate?
True. Keep it.
I love that he's like, you can tell he's always grateful for where he's at, but at the same time, he thinks so small. But I don't trust any of the sharks in Hollywood, so.
Look, man, I want to help out. I can't act.
Who cares? I
Really?
can't act.
Feels like you're
You've
doing
never stopped me from being an actor.
Oh my God, not the self-stray.
Keep the idea, brilliant idea. Bring in a real actor, then you can fake it with CGI.
Yeah.
King stuff.
Is that itchy?
People know who you are.
Who you are.
I thought Josh would try to block him, but
A charisma, a charm. On
you're a
top of
sweet
all of
guy.
that, you can become a door. It is not every day
He's
that
like,
an
yeah,
opportunity
yeah.
like this just falls into your lap. You do realize that, right?
That's true. But is it worth it?
All right.
It's gonna be great.
Is it? Everyone's saying this dormant clause, like it was, usually if they create a clause for something or an act, it's because something bad happened. So I'm just wondering where things go south here, because things seem like they're going well now.
It's time to panic.
I wouldn't be so sure about that.
Overacting, Mr. Gad, please. Hello.
Ding dong, motherfucker.
It would work. It would actually even work in our day, for real.
When special guest DeMar Doorman Davis comes a knocking.
So now he always has to walk through doors.
Ding dong, baby. Ding to the dong.
Not him stuck with this one catchphrase.
Ding dong. I said ding dong. You ding dongs.
Okay, we're milking it.
Ah. I remember
Okay,
this
we
play.
moving up.
Dang, girl, you done got fine. What's up?
That is kind of cool. It's
Yo.
full circle that he gets to come back to the very club.
Things quiet down. Won't you come have a drink with us? Oh, I love that.
The J-Gad effect, huh? I mean, paying it forward is nice, but you can tell he's starting to feel himself, which I feel like this is where things might start to go bad, because I think his humility is kind of what was helping him before. But also, didn't he show that it kind of felt some discomfort every time he used it? We're really not delving into that part. I would not hug that man willy-nilly. You could just get sucked into God knows where.
So, you happy?
Damn straight. Got off the phone with my agent. He told me he landed me a huge commercial contract.
Wow.
Why is she looking through you right now? I think she knows you a little better than you think.
Please tell me when it's 15 minutes.
Never, ever Google yourself, folks.
Some fools are hating, but Doorman still makes me smile.
Get off the social media, friend. It's not healthy. There's a lot of folks who have nothing better to do than try to tear people down.
I go to town with this brown.
Why are we drinking so much? I've noticed you started to drink a lot.
Don't sweat it. People love when you can poke a little fun at yourself, man. Trust me.
Okay, cool.
I gotta get back out
Poke
to
a little
rehearsal.
fun at yourself. I think you should listen to your gut, because this is feeling like hater energy already. I don't even know what's happening, but I'm feeling hater energy.
Tastes like door. A ding dong. What else I got up in here?
Oh, he's making fun of him. I mean, it is the nature of being roasted, unfortunately. I feel like there's always a fine line between an actual roast and people just being malicious.
I've been taking acting classes at the Stella Adler Academy.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, let's see some of that training.
To do what? Am I supposed to just spout some Shakespeare on a late night show? What do you want me to do? Oh, I was joking.
A fellow of infinite ding dong.
Oh, it's a skit.
It'll have your insides as insubstantial as mine.
Doorman.
How's it?
Boundaries.
Yeah, like, I'm sorry, what kind of a concept is it having a man just poke his face inside of a bathroom when someone using the toilet? Stop drinking,
whoa.
doorman. What's going on, DeMar?
Sure you don't want to slow down there, pal?
Right? We're turning into an alcoholic.
Ogilvy's cutting the contract short. They just feel the joke's a little
Old.
stale.
Yeah.
That's why we need to come up with some new ideas.
And
Let me
it's
pitch you
too
something.
late, DeMar. They already signed Michael Strahan, so.
Strahan.
You want to talk about stale?
Things are getting pretty tight. Behind on car payments, a few other
What
things.
did you buy?
DeMar, you gotta be more careful
Yeah.
with your money. You know how this business works.
Apparently he didn't, and no one
You
coached
can't
him.
count on the next paycheck until it's in your hands.
That is life advice,
You
folks.
never said that.
I'm saying it now.
Oh my God.
You hear that sound? I think the potatoes just said ding dong.
I think we need to drop the ding dong.
Potato bag product, which has been found to cause severe steam burns. Ouch.
Hey, doorknob.
How is that, DeMar?
just
That's
wanted
the
to get
product.
on-
That's the okay.
I want you to know that I'm in full support of the.
The way they
class
just
action
completely did a
lawsuit.
great job of these apology videos that people be putting out, these influencers. You remember how your past boss of the bar said you should really be good with where you're at genuinely? This is not good with where you're at.
Guess what, though? The studio wants cash grab too.
Really?
Hell yeah.
You bullshitting.
Nah, man. We're getting the band back together. You in?
Of course.
That's the catch.
Don't mess this up. Don't mess this up.
He's so lonely though. Why does he have no friends? Where's his family? Does he go into this dimension every time?
Everybody use that.
That's horrifying. I wonder if it gets worse with every time he uses it.
Go ahead.
Oh, he got drunk. Oh, maybe that's why he's drinking. I never thought about that.
Mark, you good, bud?
Yeah, I'm good to go.
You drunk as hell.
GTG.
On set. Ah, DeMar. My heart breaks for this man. It breaks for this man.
Here we go.
Why do I feel like his powers are not going to work? Oh, it did work. Okay. He about to puke, isn't he? I feel like we're about to lose Josh Gad. That's disgusting.
He didn't come out.
I thought so. We lost Josh.
Take it!
So Jay Gad is now still trapped inside the body of a black. Is that what we're saying?
We want to assure the American public
So
that the
DeMar's in
Department
that
of Damage
jail?
Control takes this horrific incident seriously. DeMar Davis will be continually monitored for the rest of his
Yeah,
life.
I understand it, unfortunately.
While the DODC continues to probe, experiment, and investigate every inch of DeMar Davis, Hollywood.
What do you mean every inch? Oh God, what are they doing to him in that prison?
Going forward, it will be nearly impossible for superpowered individuals to perform in major motion pictures.
So he does know.
The insurance required now, astronomical.
Everything okay?
I can't disagree. I really love the way this show plays with like the fourth wall break of him being an actor, playing an actor on this show. Damn, that was the whole episode? No way. It might be. It keeps trying to push me out. So I think that might be it. Okay, I guess it is. Just some long credits. Okay, well, that was episode 4, and that was great. I love when shows take the opportunity to use an episode to actually tell us a whole like story within a story. I mean, hearing it verbally is great and we can take it in and get an idea, but actually showing us, again, this is a show, it should show us instead of just giving us a bunch of exposition via the actor or the people telling us the story, right? I mean, would it have worked? Yes. But I think seeing it was so much more important in this aspect because it's helping us to really understand Simon more. Even though this wasn't Simon's story, we're getting to understand more of Simon via this story of the doorman. And let's talk about that. Like, that episode was barely a half an hour, and they still in that time managed, at least for me, to make me engage and care about this guy, Damar, and feel for him and be sad for him and actually be worried and concerned about where he is now. Like, he's not, we just met him. We've had 3 episodes of our main characters, and we brought this guy in this episode, and in 30 minutes, they were able to tell such a good story that I am invested in Damar's story, right? So that again shows you that they really did their job, the writers, to make sure that they gave us this whole mini vignette. Like, they gave us the whole trajectory of this man from his ordinary life to everything changing and basically turning out to be the worst in such a short time. But again, it did the job of getting me invested and like evoking the emotions, and that translating into the fear that Simon is experiencing currently. And I've said, like, since episode 2, or no, maybe it was 1, but I've been back and forth on whether or not Simon is aware of his powers, because he's doing a great job, and the writing is doing a great job of kind of leaving that out there. Like, does he know he has powers? Is he recognizing that all these incidents that are happening are coming from him? Because he doesn't, you know, from what we've seen of other superhero stuff where they're very like either controlled with it, or if they're trying to hide it, they're panicking and trying to like hold it back. You get my point? They give us really clear cues that they're aware of their abilities, but we haven't been getting that from Simon. But at the same time, there's no way this guy is ignoring the fact that he's putting holes in his wall and that he shattered a countertop. And the fact that he said to Trevor last episode that if anyone finds out about this, I'll never work again, right? So that was kind of like the clarity we needed last episode, that he in fact does know about the powers. But this episode is starting to paint for us why he has to act the way that he does about his powers. I almost feel like he acts the way he does because even he wants to be like, maybe if I pretend they're not here, maybe if I don't act like a powered person, then it won't be true, right? So anyways, let's go back into this episode really quickly about some of the really cool things I thought about Damar's story, right? Because even though this is still Simon's story, this episode was purely in Damar's world. This beautiful story of this man who, as I said, starts out as a very simple, kind, generous man who, as I said in the episode, and I complimented on, is that he was a man who at that time was grateful for what he had, right? We heard him having the conversation with his boss, the bar manager, and she said, you know, why don't you leave? Like, in this city of all places, people usually only work here for maybe a year or 2 at most, and then they're trying to move into something else, but you've been here and you don't seem like you're ready to leave. And his response is that, I'm happy. Like, this is a good job. It pays well. You tip well. I enjoy talking to people. Like, I have no complaints. So why should I, you know, rock the proverbial boat if I'm good and it's keeping me, you know, where I need it to be? And she says, you know, I hope you hold on to that. Like, that's really nice to see, because she said, I don't see a lot of people like that nowadays that really are just satisfied with where they are. And so that was all well and good. And then we see that fateful night, it looks like whatever that stuff was that he touched, it changed him and turned him into I mean, I'm always going to use the term mutant, guys. I know. I think we're allowed to use it now, right? I think Disney's finally allowed to use the term mutant. But anyway, he becomes a mutant, and it looks like whatever his power is, you know, I mentioned, you know, we saw the Roxxon on the garbage, and we know the last time that I remember seeing the Roxxon logo a lot is when I was watching Cloak and Dagger all those years ago. And so we know that Roxxon is creating all kinds of crazy stuff in their labs, right? So anyway, I think something was clearly leaking through the garbage, and I don't know what in God's name possessed him to touch it. But whatever it was, to me, it looks like some form of dimension. It's obviously a dimension power, right? Some type of time, space. What do you call those things? Quantum? Some type of a quantum realm, I'd say, lives inside of Simon now. And not Simon, sorry, Damar. And I mentioned that because it reminded me of Cloak and Dagger. We had the same thing in that show, right? Our Mr. Cloak, his cloak was basically a quantum realm that he could travel into and also travel through, right? So I wouldn't be surprised if it came, you know, whatever essence or whatever thing they were testing at Roxxon, you know, the guy from Cloak and Dagger probably got one form of it, and then we've got our guy here who got another form. But digressing, we see that it seems like every time he sleeps, he falls into this realm. And I love that, you know, he's called the doorman because that's actually the job he had. But then he became effectively a gate or a doorway. And inside of this realm that he's in is represented by a bunch of doors. I mean, they were called portals inside of the subtitles, but I would say you could also call them doors because that's really what portals are. But anyway, Well, I guess they could be windows too, but semantics. The point is, I really like that they kept with the theme of doors. But yeah, every time he went into that place, it looks like there was an infinite amount of places in and out that he could travel to. But it doesn't look like he ever took the time to really travel through them. In fact, we don't even know how he got back home the next day, right? So there were so many questions, my little, my brain likes to go in and analyze things. The questions that go on in my brain, of course, I could dig into all that and his powers all day. But since it obviously was not the point of the story, we see that the reason I think it was important that they brought that up is that, remember I mentioned in the episode that one thing they did a good job of showing how our guy, who from the beginning seemed very chill, very level, but as he kept getting more and more successful and more exposure and more famous, he started drinking more. And I thought maybe that was just because he was in the spaces he was in, right? I mean, I'm sure a lot of us have heard the horror stories of Hollywood, how people get sucked into a very crazy and somewhat depraved lifestyle, but I'm thinking it was actually him trying to deal with, they show that like he woke up in a panic in his trailer from having that dream of being in that portal room. So I'm like, that's probably not the first time it's happened. And I wouldn't be surprised if the more he uses his powers, the more he gets pushed into that realm when he's unconscious, right? So all that to say that now I'm starting to think that he was using the alcohol as a coping mechanism, more so than just a vice that was developed through the business. So anyway, we see that as he keeps going, like Josh Gad, I'm not gonna blame him, right? He honestly opened a door for Damar, which was very sweet, but I kind of commented in the episode that I'm like, you kind of just brought him in this world and left him, bruh. And again, I know it's not a grown man's job to take care of another grown man, but Damar was a doorman. He was a doorman. He had no ambitions of working in Hollywood. He had no ambitions of acting, no ambitions of being in that world. And I do think it matters because someone who wants to be in that world would likely do a lot of the research and, go to the schools and get the idea of what to expect when you get into that world. And that's not always true. I know that even in today's world, people might still go to acting classes and go to LA and do those things thinking they're going to be a star, but really not realize how the world works until you really get into it. But the point is, Josh knew, right? Josh is an established actor. He's been in the industry a while. I just feel like if you're going to pull this man into this and it turns out to be wildly successful, like, could you not have thrown like an accountant his way? Like, could you not have thrown a business manager in his direction to help him figure out what to do? Right? Because my guy went from what was probably a fairly modest income at that bar to, I can't imagine the royalties, probably getting a fat check for doing the movie. Then of course the royalties, then he's getting all these different contracts. So, he's going from a modest income to now money just coming in, probably getting all of hundreds of thousands in one check. That's a lot. And if you don't have any experience on how to deal with that, it's very easy to overspend. It's very easy to fall into the trap of, just spending without any thought. And especially in that toxic environment of LA where everybody's about more. The capitalism is crazy. It's all over the States, to be fair. But, places like Hollywood or the upper echelons of New York in particular, actually I say Miami too, like it's all about money. It's all about the look. You got to have the nice house, the nice cars, plus plural, nice houses, plural. You need to be flying to this place. You have to do the private jet. You got to wear the designer. You get my point. Like, it's all about these exorbitant, extravagant displays of wealth. And if you don't understand the way the industry works, then you might go and start spending like it's water, which unfortunately our guy Damar did, and didn't recognize that a royalty check this month could be $15,000 and then next month it could be $5, right? It's a very unpredictable industry in that way. And just like his manager too late told him, bro, you don't count on the money till it's in your hand in this industry. You have to wait till they put the paper in your hand before you spend it. And, unfortunately, that's something Damar did not recognize he needed to do. So yeah, I just love how they show that he clearly had his reservations because he never really, from the looks of things, he did figure out that he could access the power, but he didn't really know what else to do with it. He never took the time to really figure out what is going on with this. Where could he have done that? God knows. Right? In fairness, like, is he going to go to Xavier's Institute for, the X-Men Institute to see if he can figure it out? As a grown man, probably not. There probably wasn't a lot of options for him to do that, but he probably should have taken some time to just be like, let me just figure out what the hell's going on here. What do all these portals mean? Can I walk through it? You know what I mean? Like, I feel like he should have spent some real time with his powers. He never did. He just kind of, once that fame came, he just kind of leaned into that, the success that came with it. But one thing I really love is that he never really lost the humility aspect, right? He was always very grateful. He was always very like nice. Like it seems like everyone liked working with him. And, you know, we saw him even doing things like reading the comments and stuff. Like that's a very humble thing to do, to be in here reading what people are saying about you online. And then you saw that when he did the skit show, he was kind of like, oh, I don't know. Like it's feeling like maybe you're taking away from what I'm doing. Like, was it a shtick? Was it very, gimmicky? Yes, but it still was work, and it was still something that helped him. And it, you know, the fact that that show was effectively crapping on it, you know, that was kind of, I think, the beginning of the end, unfortunately, of people starting to not, even though some people were already being like, okay, the ding dong thing is overdone, that kind of took away any, like, not any, but a good chunk of the legitimacy of it. Him making fun of his own work is kind of like, oh, you're not taking this that seriously. You feel? So we see that, unfortunately, as it goes in Hollywood, right? Like fads come, they're huge, and then they, as quickly as they come, they disappear. That's the sad part, right? The hard thing to do in the industry of Hollywood is have longevity. And because he didn't really try to branch out too much outside of the shtick of the ding dong, that is kind of why, unfortunately, we saw his agent eventually be like, yeah, like your contracts are drying up. People are, you know, over it. No one's really buying it or eating it up anymore. And he didn't already have something else lined up, which is why you saw the agent be like, is there any other powers? Like maybe we can tap into a new bag. But DeMar never planned on any of this. That was kind of the hard thing. Like he stumbled into it. Like again, thank you, Josh Gad, for trying to give him a stepping stone. But you know, you have to have ambitions beyond that, right? He should have been looking. And again, if he had the right people around him, I believe they could have helped him to figure out that he should have had more. But that's not what happened. And so we just see that as things start to decline, you know, his overspending, the fame is going down. He's not being taken seriously. You know, I love that when they showed him going back to the club that he worked at initially, and he's talking to his old boss, she looks at him and really looks at him. And this is a big deal because in a place like Hollywood, where a lot of people are very opportunistic, to have someone really look at you, fame aside, success aside, and just be like, are you okay? Like she really meant that question. She knows that man. She remembered what he was like when he was that simple doorman. And she could see that this was a mask. What was there, you know, Mr. Hey, how's it going? Blah, 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 drink in my hand. She knew he wasn't really happy. This wasn't fulfilling him. He was as, you know, feeling as empty as that quantum realm that's inside him. So anyway, you know, he didn't really say much because I don't think even he realized how not okay he is. And that I think is really what he should have been examining, is why do I feel this way? And I think a lot of it was tied back to his powers. He still doesn't understand them, why he has them. And again, that nightmare that he keeps having in, I say nightmare, but I'm thinking he's actually in whatever that realm is maybe every time he goes to sleep. So it's all compounding, right? Mental, physical, and emotional health are deteriorating with him. And again, I noticed, as I said, no family. We don't see him having any family, no close friends. All the people that are hanging around him are all the hangers on that all show up when you get famous. He doesn't have a touchstone. He doesn't have something to help to ground him. So unsurprisingly, he spiraled. And the drinking, like I said, which I think was his way of dealing not only with the loneliness and the fear, but as I said, whatever was going on with his powers. And unsurprisingly, the day came where his powers malfunctioned. They probably didn't. It's just that he was so out of, like, he was so unclear. And again, he's so out of, again, we don't know enough about his powers, but we know that a lot of mutant powers are affected by emotions and the way you're thinking. And especially when you're thinking about travel, right? Because even though these people are going through him, they're passing through a realm clearly to go through him. So I think my theory, which it doesn't really matter because again, I'm going deep for this, but I think that DeMar had to be very focused on where he wanted the passer through to go for them to get there. But with him on that set, that fateful day that caused everything to go south, we see that he was out of it, right? He knew that things were not going well. As I said, he was spiraling. He was drunk. He just come out of a horrible nightmare of those doors. So his head was not in the game. So he's there, he's on set, he's trying to do what he can. And I don't think his mind was focused on the task at hand. It was God knows where. So that's why poor Josh Gad is God knows where. He pushed him through a different door, and he doesn't understand his powers enough to be able to even know where to look. We saw it's an infinite number of doors, it looks like. So he could spend the rest of his life, which is probably what he's doing right now in that jail, trying to figure out which door he pushed poor Josh Gad through. He might still be in the realm. He might be on a beach somewhere in Bavaria. I don't know. We really don't know. And again, we've just seen him do it from one place to another, but maybe he's got the capacity to send people to completely different timelines. He could have the capacity to send them to completely different worlds different realms. We don't know, right? So anyways, we see that unfortunately because of that fateful day, things just went to hell in a handbasket. And was it malicious? Was it on purpose? Of course it wasn't. But this was kind of the kickoff of the doorman clause. And remember I said at the beginning of the episode, we typically don't create acts or things like that unless something bad happens. And at this point, we don't know that anything bad has happened. Right? Josh Gad is probably not dead. I don't think the realm would kill him, but we don't know. And, you know, just it didn't look good for this doorman from nowhere to suddenly, who everyone also kind of low-key thought didn't deserve the fame that he had, just suddenly ate up a valid Hollywood star, right? So anyway, just seeing all that and then, you know, hearing the way things very much escalated for mutants after that point, it now makes more sense as we saw Simon watching that report, that, you know, the Mario Lopez report, that he's so much fear now. Because on top of the fact that he cares so much about this industry and being a success, and now we saw last episode, the family pressure he's experiencing. Now on top of that, he's a mutant and he knows he's a mutant and he can't work. He can't do the very thing he wants to do because of something he has no control over. And let's be real, after what we've seen him do to his wall and to that island, he can't safely say he's not a danger to other people with his abilities. Because he too, I would venture to say, has not taken the time to get to know what his abilities do and how to control them properly. So I really love that they showed, like, again, this whole little arc of Damar's story, which was heartbreaking and insightful and beautiful in its own little way, but also, again, the way it just very directly translated into where Simon is at and kind of the same, how he's kind of experiencing the same thing. The difference being that he actually wants to be in this world and he understands a lot more about it. But him and Damar are kind of almost like mirrors of each other in many ways, in that they're both very lonely, very isolated, and really reaching for something to make them feel less so, right? And so very interesting that they did a whole episode on this. I do think maybe we might revisit the Damar thing. I'm assuming he's probably at that prison that is holding all these, you know, dangerous mutants, but we'll have to see. I mean, Josh Gad, I can't think that he only came for a 1-episode check. So, I mean, Joe Pantoliano did, but we'll see whether or not it's going to be a thing where maybe, you know, there might be someone who might be able to help my guy get Josh Gad back no matter where he might be. But yeah, that was a fantastic episode, guys. Like, I really enjoyed it. I said I loved watching Damar's story. And again, I love the loose ties that it gave us into insight as far as Simon and his character and kind of the journey that he's on and why it's so important for him to keep this secret on lock as long as possible, right? So yeah, that was a great episode. I enjoyed it a lot. I hope you guys enjoyed watching along. If you did, please show some love and I'll see you in the next one.